Dear, dear friends, I have first of all to disappoint you and to disappoint Olli. I'm singing very badly. I can tell you, Simon and Garfunkel, I don't think that I'm capable to do so. But we shall try, and in any way, dear Olli, dear Graham, and dear liberal friends, I want to thank everybody of you, all of you, for being here. In fact, at the start, here in Brussels, of what certainly will be, I think, a huge battle, a long campaign for more than 4 months, and I think also a challenge for all of us. But I really believe that we started, Graham, very well by doing something that is not so often seen in the liberal family. By uniting our forces, by combining our strengths, by building up a team. Olli and me, I should say, a unique ticket that will help to grow the European liberal family, a winning team. And I should say, he is coming from the north, I'm coming from Latin Europe. He's a more rational person, I'm more emotional. We do not need other candidates, in fact, of the other political parties in this next election, friends. And I very much hope that today, that you can all give us your support. I very much hope from all of you that we can receive, Olli and me, a strong mandate to fight for our cause and to win the elections in May. And why we have to win these elections? Why the liberal family has to continue to be the third political force in Europe and strengthen ourselves? Because the challenges are huge in Europe. Despite of what some people say, the crisis is not over. We have to continue our work. 26 million Europeans have no work today. 54% of young Greeks. 57% of young people in Spain. So this crisis is not over. And it is true, this crisis, and it's the main problem of today. The main problem we face is fueling nationalism, is fueling populism, is fueling Euroscepticism, is promoting what I could say as easy solutions. In fact, it are not solutions. It are simply simplistic and fake solutions. And rather than solutions, I call them lies. Lies that people are tricked into today. It is not true, dear friends. It is not true that the crisis will suddenly end if we leave the Union and if we leave the Euro. And that is what follow populism and Euroscepticism. All our problems will disappear. Disappear once we retreat behind our national borders. That is what Farage, that is what Grillo, that is what Wilders, that is what Le Pen are saying. And their whole traveling circus of Islamophobes, anti-Semites, and British separatists. They want us to believe that everything shall disappear if we retreat behind national borders. And they are deadly serious about it. They are deadly serious when they say that national borders will protect us from everything. From climate change, from terrorism, from migration, from toxic financial products coming from the other side of the ocean. That's finished if we retreat behind our national borders. From cheap Chinese goods dumped on our markets, even from unemployment that shall disappear when we are protected behind our national borders. Once we shut our front door, all these problems, all these challenges shall immediately disappear, melts as snow in the sun. Well, I ask you, friends, who can believe such nonsense? Who can believe that in a globalized world, these problems can be solved by 28 different national policies, 28 different national strategies on the level of 28 different member states in the European Union? And moreover, I have to tell you, I get really cross. I get really cross when I see the Eurosceptics demolishing the EU from the inside, when at the same time, at the outside, people are dying in Kiev, in the streets, to join our European Union, friends. I get really cross. The Eurosceptics and the extreme right practice the politics of destruction, in fact. Or better, the politics of fear. And we do the opposite. We do the opposite. We practice the politics of courage to overcome the fear that exists in our societies. And they turn their back on the real world. We do the opposite. We face the world. We face the future with our eyes wide open. So as the citizens of Ukraine need Europe for their freedom and for their democracy, we also need Europe. We need Europe to tackle our challenges, to tackle our problems, the financial crisis, climate change, international crime, illegal migration. We need Europe, but not this Europe, not the old-style Europe, the Europe of the conservatives and of the socialists. A Europe, and that is true, that brought us peace, but a Europe that is also in decline because of the bad socialist and conservative recipes. And they have brought these recipes, a Europe where younger generations today are looking for the first time outside the European borders to their own future, to their own destiny. A Europe that is also far too divided to play in the world a decisive role. And conservatives, let's start with them, because I have to talk about them a few words. Conservatives are too often satisfied with simply what exists. What I call the status quo. They fear, in fact, change. They fear and they hate reforms. And we see that in a number of things. We see that in the completion of the internal market, in the digital agenda, in the free trade negotiations, Karel, with the United States. And when action is needed, they prefer always, I should say, a loose intergovernmental approach, producing complicated solutions, as we see now again with the resolution mechanism in the banking union. And they are, let me say it in one word, the political movement of too little, too late. That is maybe a better name for them. While change, friends, is urgently needed, while reform is absolutely key. And not only, let me tell you that to my liberal friends, not only in the fight against the economic crisis, but also in defending our European values and our civil liberties. Because no, dear friends, women's rights, LGBT rights are not the sole matter for the member states, as the conservatives are saying. They are European rights. They are European values. And no, it is not enough when the NSA stops bugging Merkel's phone. It is the privacy of all the European citizens that is at stake today. And whether it is in Hungary, or in Turkey, or in China, or in Russia, in Ukraine, or in Syria, in every corner of the world, we as liberals will always defend the right to privacy, the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, in short, the freedom of people to express who they are and what they stand for. And that is the difference between conservatives and real liberals as we are. But dear friends, the socialists, because I have to talk now about the socialists naturally, are not better. They believe that by spending more money, we will again return to growth, spending more of your money naturally, not of them. And actually spending also money that doesn't even exist. And their recipe, their solution, is the oldest trick in the book, I should say. More debts. They don't understand that wild spending caused today's tragedy. That sustainable growth can only be built on sound fiscal policies. And let's be lucky, friends, in Europe. Let's be lucky that we have only to keep them in line and to apply the rules today in the European Union. Our objective as an alternative for conservatives and for the socialists is clear. As we have put it in our manifesto, we need another Europe, a better Europe, a liberal Europe. We don't need a big union, not a centralized or a bureaucratic superstate, but a smart Europe, an effective Europe, a union that is active where it can deliver, a union when it's active when there is a real added value for the citizens. And we have to accept and to realize that today, in the world of today, decisions taken, for example, in Brasilia, in Bangkok, or in Beijing, have more impact from time to time on our lives than those taken from time to time in our own capitals. In today's world, a whiz kid in Wall Street, and I don't refer to a film naturally, can cause the collapse of a bank here on the other side of the Atlantic. And in today's world, tsunamis in South Asia and hurricanes in North America can affect us all. This is our world, our modern world, not longer divided and defined by classic power structures, and even not always by national borders. A world in which Europe is no longer, let's recognize that, the center of the universe. So we have a choice. We have a clear choice. Either we work together to regain our lost sovereignty, to regain control, regain influence on our own lives, on our own destiny, or we condemn ourselves to insignificance. That is the choice we face today in Europe. And that's why we need to rebuild another Europe, a new Europe, a better Europe. Again, and I repeat, not a superstate, not a bureaucratic monster, but an effective union, a democratic union, an accountable union. I should even say, Graham, a F union, but not the F of federal, but of functional maybe. It's not so a bad idea. So a union that really delivers for its citizens and for its business. A union with discipline and with growth. A union with rules for big banks and big business, but also a union without overregulation that harms the real economy or small and medium-sized companies. So, dear friends, what Olli and I intend to do is to make that exactly happen. To make that happen by bringing back to Brussels a big liberal and democratic group in May 2014, with new lists in at least 10 countries. Like in Poland with the Palikot movement, in the Czech Republic, in Hungary, in Austria with NEOS, in Greece, where I can tell you liberalism is absolutely needed, the fastest as possible, or in France with the Alternative, a joint pro-European centrist list of Bayrou and Jean-Louis Borloo, and in Italy with the political parties of Emma Bonino and Mario Monti. And together with our strong parties on the British Isles, in Scandinavia, in Catalonia, in the Balkans, in the Baltics, and in the Benelux, together also with the new FDP, the sole alternative for the grand coalition today in Germany, dear friends. Well, all together, our goal is clear. To come back at least as strong as today, if not possible, stronger as today. And you can count on us, on Olli and me, but we need also you. You need to ring on doors. You need to hang posters. You need to get people out to vote, and we need you to fight for every single ballot, because nothing is given, as you know, in politics. So let's fight, and let's win, and let's make the surprise on May 25th. Thank you.